Hi, welcome to my studio. I made quite a few improvements since the last video that I posted about a month and a half ago. This sound treatment is my latest addition and it was harder to make than I thought it would be. I used about equal proportions of Roxul Rockboard 80 and Roxul Rockboard 60. Roxul Rockboard 80 or 8-pound rockboard has excellent low frequency absorption, and the Roxul Rockboard 60 or 6-pound rockboard has excellent high and mid frequency absorption. I had 1-inch 703 rigid insulation on the windows and the walls, but it really wasn't getting the job done, especially on the windows, so I changed it to the 2-inch Roxul 60 and it helped a lot. Now I don't have to stop nearly as often to wait for the noises outside to quiet down before I resume recording. I thought that because this is a small room and acoustically engineered by limiting the parallel surfaces that I could get away with just a little sound treatment. Then I found out that the smaller rooms collect more bass frequencies, so the sound treatment is actually much more crucial in a smaller room. I also made this acoustic panel. It measures 4 feet by 4 feet. Yeah, it's pretty big. Brown sections are 8-pound rockboard, the gray sections are 6-pound rockboard, and the white sections are 2 inches of Owens Corning 703 rigid insulation, which has the same frequency absorption characteristics as the Roxul 60, but it's not nearly as heavy. The Roxul 60 is 6 pounds per cubic foot, and of course Roxul 80 is 8 pounds per cubic foot. Owens Corning 703 rigid insulation is 3 pounds per cubic foot, half the weight of Roxul 60. These are the panels that I made to replace the window panels made with a 1-inch 703 rigid insulation. As I said before, the 1-inch 703 wasn't getting the job done. The 6-pound rockboard that I used to make these panels give an extra added sound barrier from the outside, and at the same time they absorb the ambient high and mid-range frequencies inside the room, so this all translates to a cleaner sound to the mic for a better mix. These are the bass traps that I made, and as I told you before, I used Roxul Rockboard 80. It has the best low-frequency absorption of all acoustic materials, including Owens Corning 705 rigid insulation. Bass frequencies are known to collect in the corners of a room. For a regular square room with flat walls and ceiling, you should put 2 2-foot by 4-foot traps stacked on top of one another in each corner of the room. I'll probably add some more bass treatment to this room as I go along. Here's another new addition to the studio. It's an acoustic shield or a microphone enclosure. It reduces reflections and attenuates unwanted ambient acoustic interference. As I'm sure you can tell, I also made this enclosure, and I designed it to accept all the mics that I own. I put a relief in the center for the mic stand to slide into, so that the microphone would sit inside the enclosure. These pads are made with 8-pound rockboard, and theoretically, if I change the padding material, it should give a different response to the microphone. It's a little top-heavy on the stand, so by itself it's a little shaky. But once you put the mic stand into the relief, it becomes very steady. I made it so you can take it off the stand and put it on the desktop so you can work on the computer as you are recording. I want to point out that there's nothing hollow in this room. The door is a foam-filled door. The walls, ceiling, and cavities have all been stuffed with insulation, and I did that to eliminate any hollow reverberation. These sound panels cover the window that my Mac sits behind. Even though Macs are quiet machines, they still make noise that would be picked up by the microphones. Macintosh is the recommended computer to use, especially if you're working with graphics and audio. This is the audio interface. It's an Apogee Quartet and it has 4 input channels. That's why they call it a quartet. I had an Apogee 1 with only 1 input channel. It's about the size of a cell phone, and I was so impressed with that little unit that I upgraded to the quartet. They're a little pricey, but there's a lot of quality there. Here I have the headphone splitter. It goes from the headphone jack on the quartet to the splitter. Then just for convenience, I have the 4 outputs hardwired to the desktop. Next to it is the USB hub. It increases the number of USB inputs and it's right in front of me. I don't have to mess around with the back of the computer. And here you have the 4 inputs of the Apogee interface. They're hardwired to the desktop. And again, this was only done for convenience and ease of use. Here I have 2 sets of audio monitors. Both sets are active, which means that they have an amplifier built right into them. They actually recommend 3 sets of monitors because the purpose of a monitor isn't to produce the best sound like your stereo speakers, it's to get an accurate representation of what you produced so you can switch between them to get an idea of what your project will sound like on different audio systems. It's also recommended that you have a cheapo set of monitors along with a mid and high quality set. There in the middle of the wall is a sound diffuser. What it does is scatters the sound so it doesn't reflect directly back into the center of the room, which is what gives you the muddy sound. I built this one because the ones you buy are pretty expensive, and they really don't look that great. It took a long time to make, but it does a good job, and it's like having a piece of artwork hanging on your wall. This is the Roland Fantom X6 synthesizer workstation. They call it a workstation because it has a computer built right into it. You can compose music and make all kinds of loops, and it literally has thousands of sounds you can choose from. Drums, orchestral, strings, brass, piano, bass, and all kinds of sound effects. If you're going to be working with animation or any type of video production, then a synthesizer workstation is a must. It's an invaluable piece of equipment that you really can't afford to skimp on. Another important part of the equation is the microphone. Here we have a Blue microphone, a Charter Oak microphone, and a Hale microphone. This one's the Hale Fin microphone, and it's the only dynamic microphone that I own. Generally, the dynamic microphone lacks the depth that the condenser mics have. Dynamic microphones do not require phantom power, but what's interesting about this mic is, when phantom power is supplied to the mic, the screen lights up. This one would glow red. The Hale Sound Company is located in Fairview Heights, Illinois. This is my latest purchase for the studio. It's an Apogee USB condenser microphone. And since I'm using it right now, I'll let you decide on its audio quality, but I will say that it's easy to use and the price is just a fraction of what you would pay for a big name condenser mic. I like it. This is the Blue Dragonfly microphone. It even kind of looks like a dragonfly. BLUE, Blue, stands for Baltic Latvian Universal Electronics. The corporation is located in Latvia. It's a small country near Russia and Lithuania. I guess some Blue mics are made here in the United States, but this one was actually made in Latvia. The Dragonfly is a large diaphragm condenser cardioid microphone. The word cardioid is in reference to the shape of the pickup pattern. You can use this mic for vocals, but it's primarily an instrument mic. Blue makes an excellent microphone. This is the Charter Oak SA538 dual diaphragm condenser vacuum tube microphone. It has its own power supply and 9 pickup patterns that are switchable. This microphone consistently gets outstanding reviews by pros and die-hard hobbyists. They all agree that this microphone rivals the upper-class microphones, such as the Neumann U87, the Blue Kiwi microphone, Paluzzo 2247LE. And those are some huge names in the industry. And just as the name would imply, Charter Oak microphones are made right here in Enfield, Connecticut. With their lifetime warranty, technical support, and their unmatched quality control, it is a company that we who live here in Connecticut can be very proud of. I'm not an expert in this field. I'm just someone who did a lot of research as I was building this studio. And I referred to YouTube videos for ideas and tips. Some of the videos were a tremendous help to me. I decided when I was building this studio that I would try to return the favor by making a video so others could possibly benefit by what I've learned. I hope this video was helpful to you, and thanks for watching.